Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade. This is a very special bonus episode of Pink Shade covering Welcome to Plathville. You guys know we're putting Welcome to Plathville here on the free feed, the public feed, until 90 Day UK ends, which I think is another week or two. And then Plathville will go over to Pink Shade Prime. If you're new here and you're only listening because of Plathville, hello, thank you, welcome. I've covered every single episode. You can find that over on Pink Shade Prime, all on a $5 level. And what I cover normally here on this feed is Mondays. I've been covering Inmate to Roommate. We're about to flip that over to Love After Lockup. Thank the Lord. Tuesdays covering currently 90 Day the other way. And on Thursdays, I cover Bravo. On Pink Shade Prime, on the $5 level, like I said, 90 Day UK and 90 Day HEA right now. And soon to be on the $10 level will be Love is Blind UK. And currently over there, we just finished MILF Manor. And yes, we are covering Forbidden Love. So that's a rundown of what happens here on this podcast. And I am very happy today to welcome my co-host for this episode. It is a gal you know and love, but don't see. Her name is Kim from 90 Day Fiance Cray Cray.
Hi, Mary Payne. Wow, you made it all the way through MILF Manor. You are strong. Congrats.
Girl, I got the inside scoop with my girl Lynette. We are texting. She just filed a restraining order against Barbie.
Wait,
Listen,
what?
this shit goes on and on. Yeah.
I'm going to need to have you on 90 Day Fiance Cray Cray to give the tea on that. Wow.
Yes.
Had no idea. I think I
know.
bowed out when they did the butt thing where they put the butt in the hole on the big board and then they had to feel the butt and guess whose butt it was. I was like, yeah, this is my last episode, but I
That
wish
was
you all
it
the
for
best.
you. Yeah, that was it. Okay. You know, that was a good spot to bow out if you were going to bow out. Yeah. I would have bowed out with the eating of the watermelon between the gal's legs.
Oh, I loved that. I loved it. I begged Kyle to watch it and he like kept forgetting. It was like, you don't understand. Like, it's absurd. Like, I loved it.
Would Kyle love it or hate it? I can't, you can't ever tell with him.
You can never predict. I think he would. I think it would have cracked him up, but I don't know.
He could have taken a stand and said, I refuse to cover these trash boxes.
I mean, I am watching it. I'm making him watch Forbidden Love.
That's good, right? I thought it was good.
Foreskin hygiene, 2 words. You know?
Why'd you remind me of that? Ew. I'd already forgotten about that.
Yeah. Glad we're learning about it. You know, public service announcement. Yeah, there's lots of good trash out. I'm really excited for 90 Day UK I'm not excited for 90 Day UK to end. I'm very sad.
Yes, same.
So fast every time. I'm like, it's over? Like, how?
Because there's so much filler on that show. There's so much filler. If you fast forward through everything that's filler, you're like, oh, look at me. I got a 15-minute show.
I'm telling you. But UK, it's like people are like getting married and then divorced in like the same episode. I'm like, what is going on? It's so fast. I can't keep up sometimes, but yeah.
And then we have are you guys covering all these things I just named? All the things?
All the 90 Day things. So HEA in tow, of course. We are covering UK on Patreon. We're covering Plathville on Patreon.
Okay.
And then I think we're going to do Love is Blind UK.
Yeah.
We always do Love is Blind. Everybody's excited. I always jump at the opportunity to see dumb people that aren't American, you know? So like seeing dumb British people is a delight. I'm here for that.
It doesn't hurt as bad when they're not American. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I like it.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. That is the joy of it. I did have somebody send a DM today and ask if we will be doing British accents. And I just put that emoji of like, my hair's like smile with all the teeth because I try not to, but sometimes it slips out.
You know, I always end up sounding Australian. So I apologize in advance. I'm always like, I need a Foster's. And I'm like, no, that's not British. What's happening? Yeah, not very good at that. But I'm here for Love is Blind UK. Also, British people are not very forthcoming with their feelings. And so like, what is it gonna be boring? I can't wait.
I did have somebody write me today and said that she lived in the UK, and she was very excited about the two people that were hosts.
Mm.
So I haven't done any research to find out about them, but that sounds like, oh, I didn't even think about that, because with Nick and Vanessa,
Ugh.
we just know them, but also they're such non-entities in the Love Is. Now they kind of bring it at the reunion, but otherwise they just literally show them standing on a bridge in various towns going, and we're Nick and Vanessa, is love blind? And that's it.
They're so useless. No, they usually pop in during the, like, wedding dress try-on too, and
True.
then Vanessa, the tell-all, her only job is to ask people how many babies they're gonna have or when they're gonna have babies.
She does a lot of, ooh, you're gonna have babies. All
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
really makes people mad, which I find funny. Um, yeah, I'm here for Love Is Blind, though. I There was that one season that was a real dud. Remember there were only 2 couples, or I don't know what happened. They
No,
had a lot of lawsuits too. I'm just like,
it all runs together. And when at this last reunion, they made a huge mistake of bringing all those former contestants on that were together or not together. And we're like, who cares? Like, there was
yeah.
so much on that season, last season, that they didn't need this extra audience members of these past couples and whatnot. But they really did say, Nick said they have, 11 couples that got married and like 9 still together. And that's a pretty high track record.
Oh, it's better than The Bachelor, 25
Yeah,
years of Bachelor. I mean, what,
totally.
who was the girl that's blonde and, like, always in pink? She was a speech
Hmm.
pathologist, I think, and she's married to the guy whose mom the guy who's of I think he was born in the States, but his mom is African, and she, like, didn't want him to get married to her. I can't
Oh,
remember.
okay, yes, yes, yes. She drove me nuts. That girl
She is
drove me nuts.
so
She
annoying.
she the one that wanted to do she's the one that made them do like the Calvin Klein underwear modeling.
Yes,
Yes, and
and
that underwear didn't fit very well. It was kind of baggy.
look, I still follow her on Instagram. I don't
Yeah,
know why I don't
so do
just
I.
unfollow her,
So
but,
do
like,
I.
she's posting all the time. Like, they do photo shoots every week looking very, very serious, and she's
Mm.
always in some obnoxious outfit or in, like, all pink, and I'm like, "Girl, tone it down." Like, I
Mm.
don't know. She's very annoying to me.
Yeah, they were like in Portland, but wanted to move to Seattle, and he didn't know if Seattle would have soccer that he could play.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember that? It was something
There's
like
no
that.
soccer in Seattle. I mean,
No.
nope, no
No cl
soccer.
no club leagues you can join. Um, I forgot about them. I follow her on Instagram too, and again, I don't know why. I don't
Like,
know.
why don't I just unfollow? I hate it when people hate follow people, you know? They do
Every
that
so
to
often.
Lauren.
Oh,
Have you ever perused Lauren's, comment section
of Lauren and
for the
Alexi?
Lauren Alexi?
No, I haven't. Is it
I
like
have
what?
had to stop myself so many times from being like, "Calm the fuck down." Like,
Yes.
this girl can't post anything without people being like, "Where are your kids?
Oh,
Why aren't you
God.
with your kids?" I'm like, "She is taking a selfie in her mirror in her bedroom. Like, calm down. Her children are
Oh,
fine." I
her
it
children are dangling off that balcony of that 40th floor apartment in wherever they live, Miami. Like, it's fine. No, I haven't.
there
Listen,
y
I don't even have time to peruse, comments of people I do like. And, I don't dislike Lauren. I'm very, meh on them.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't watch I have a really hard time watching Surgery,
Oh
so
god, me
that
too.
was a pass for me,
Mhm.
but yeah, her comment section, I'm always, like, typing something out, and then I'm like, "Don't do it.
Yeah. No.
Don't don't do it."
Don't make headlines in Reddit. The Reddit people could be like, "Did you
Exactly.
see 90 Day Fiance Cray Cray said something about Lauren, and that means they support all the wars." Yeah, that's what they would say.
I don't know, I was just like I stop telling Lauren her kids are okay. Her kids are fine, y'all, okay? Her kids are okay. And
Yeah,
if she wants
and
to get surgery, like, whatever, that's on her.
I agree,
Yeah.
but I do think
So,
she should just forget it and get a tiny implant, quit talking about her boobs. Just get
I
a
would
tiny
love
implant.
to transfer fat into my boobs from anywhere, really.
Right. I don't know if listen, obviously I'm not a doctor, but I think if you could just pull fat from one part of your body and put it in your boobs and give yourself big natural boobs, everybody in the world would do that. So I don't necessarily think that really works. I think that if you want to have a bigger boobage, you got to go a Jennifer Aniston tiny implant, call it a day.
Yeah.
And I'm
My
tired. I'm
apologies.
tired. I'm tired of her talking about it.
I just can't do that recovery time. I got shit to do.
You got
Um,
shit to do. You also have little kids in your house that people will be like, "Where are your children?"
yeah, they'll be like, "Where's your kids? Ah, they're not okay. They're
Like, I don't
fine."
know. Like, I don't know where they are. It's not my day to watch them.
What a great response to, like, the haters. I don't know where my kids are. Just
You should put, "It's not my day to watch them. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. Today's my day off." All right, let's talk about these people. Let's talk about Welcome to Plathville. I have some Plathville news right here. Okay, so
Ooh.
I spoke to my friend earlier today, Kate Casey. Okay,
Oh.
Kate Casey made, in my opinion, a mistake and wanted to interview Kim Plath.
Oh,
She talked about
Kate.
this last season, and she talked about this season, and she did it. She booked an interview with Kim Plath. Now, I talk to Kate on the phone once or twice a week, and every time I talk to her, I'm like, "It's a mistake. She's not going to say anything." I don't know why Kate, I think, has so much empathy for her, for all the kids, and she lost one. And Kate's like, "I just want to know, like, what led her to want to live off the grid? What made her want to live this lifestyle of all the kids? How did she said on the show, she lost a child, never had therapy. Ethan has said on the show that they were not allowed to like mention that their brother died.
Yeah.
Guys, surprise. Kate interviewed her and Kim said nothing and it was terrible. So
Oh,
everybody
really?
listened to that on Friday on Kate
She
Casey's
wouldn't
show.
she wouldn't even, like, open up about
No,
her 20s and, like, why
nope.
did you decide to marry Barry?
Mm-mm.
Why? Why wouldn't you talk about that?
I
You're,
don't know.
like,
I don't
old
want to.
now.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to spoil anything Kate does learn in this interview that she told me, but it's less than nothing. And she was very frustrated because a lot of times with these interviews, TLC will say like you have exactly 30 minutes, and then they start like telling you after 30 minutes like you need to wrap it up. And you know, Kate's like it was hard because she wouldn't really answer anything, and then she took like these huge long pauses, and then at the beginning she couldn't get the phone to work, and Kate's like so. Um, yeah, it's
Wow, that
too
would be my biggest concern is, like, Kim Plath just used to learn technology, like, last year, so,
mm.
you know?
Also not true. They had a laptop in the house and Wi-Fi, but only she was allowed to use it
Oh, dude.
for
Oh, I
social
can't.
media. For social media. Yeah.
Mm.
She told Kate
I'm
that
not a fan.
yeah.
I'm
Mm-mm.
not I don't have a lot of empathy for Kim Plath. Like,
Me
I mean,
either.
obviously, for losing a child, I'm gonna have empathy for anyone, like,
Of
literally
course.
anyone. But
Agree.
like, the whole, like, I'm gonna exploit my children for gain on social media, but not let them actually, like, have any control over that or any sense of, like, what technology even is. It's, like, very exploitative, and I'm not on board.
Okay. Well,
Suck it,
that's
Kim.
that's one of a million things we could go after her about. A million.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to say I'm right. And uh yeah, Kate called me and was like, "Oh my god." And I was like, "Well, I will promote your interview because I would like everybody to listen to see that she says contradicts things that she said on the show directly and contradicts herself quite a bit." So I'm
Wow.
teasing that. So everybody listen to Reality Life with Kate Casey
Oh, I'm
on
gonna listen
Friday.
to it. I can't
I'm
wait. That
I'm gonna
sounds
listen to
great.
it. Okay. So everybody, welcome to Plathville season 6, episode 2, Never Say Never. Now, Kim, one of the things that I really try to do on our TLC shows is right away, I try to figure out what is going to be the pattern for the titles. So the first title was You Kept the Plants Alive, and the second one is Never Say Never. So far we've got 2 Olivia quotes.
Yeah,
I liked it better when they were doing the Shakespeare quotes.
that
Um,
was good because those kids have not they probably don't even know what Shakespeare is, but yeah.
mm-mm, mm-mm. So yeah, so interesting. So far we've just got Olivia quotes, and that's all I've got. I like it better when they do 80s songs or like rom
I
com
like that.
titles.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I like that too. They do that with 90 Day too. I I like Olivia is the hero of the season, right? I mean,
she's a
so
hero
far
of life. Yeah,
of the entire series.
of the
Really.
entire series. And I do have an interview with Olivia coming up.
Ooh, you told me
Yes.
that. I'm very excited. I listened last year
Yeah.
and yeah,
Isn't she
it's
fascinating? She's
She is.
fascinating.
I
She's a
mean, I
hero.
always like, when I talk about the show with Kyle, I'm always like, I don't even know what I would be like if I was raised. I mean, can we call Quiverful a cult? Is it a cult? I don't
It is a
know.
cult. Mhm.
Like
It's a religious, cult. Yes, it is.
like, what would you be like? Like, this episode, especially, we get a taste that, like, she's gonna be trying to date and whatnot, and
Mhm.
she's never like, she held hands with a boy when she was 16 and married him.
Right.
Like, I don't know what that's like. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know what I would be like, you know?
Spoiler for the Kate Casey interview, Kim says, "No, they were never in Quiverful." Oh, it's really interesting because 'cause you're, like, best friends with all those
What?
people, and you follow Bill Goddard, which is the IBLP or whatever. Oh, really? That's
Oh,
interesting.
come on, girl.
Hmm.
No. No, no, no.
Um, so let's start with, the opening, which is Ethan and Olivia are still talking on the couch where we left them
Oof,
last week.
brutal.
And she says to him, she goes, I know this is hard. I know it's hard. She's being very empathetic to him. She says, I know it's hard, but we've both been single for quite a while. And this signing of these papers, by the way, she doesn't seem to have any papers.
Yeah.
Maybe she's going to sign them to him. But she says, this is the last step with the papers that needs to happen. And we see the producer asking him again, did you change your mind once you saw her? And he says, yes, he did. Now, but he's changed his mind about wanting to stay with her, but he hasn't changed his mind that he doesn't want to have kids with her because he wouldn't want his kids to be gay and they don't politically align. And he hasn't changed his mind about those things, but he did change his mind that he wants to still be married to her. But like he's not willing to. And by the way, like I said last week, fundamentally, he doesn't have to change anything about himself for a woman, just like a woman doesn't have to change anything about herself for a man.
No,
But
but you do have to align on,
they're never going to agree. They're never going to agree.
the
Yeah.
things I remember last season there was, like, the list of 3 things that he had as,
Mhm.
must-haves,
Yeah.
and we know from Olivia's social media that one was, if they had a gay kid, she would have to disown that child, as would
Mhm.
he, and, like, I just,
Yeah.
like, deal breaker, sorry, that's for me, that's not even politics, that's just, like, hating your child, like,
I agree with that.
game over. Like, sorry, you can't fix that. And so, Ethan, if you want to fix your marriage, like maybe backtrack and like do some self-reflection on that because there's nothing you can do to change your mind about that. She's not going to hate a child she doesn't have if they're this is all hypothetical too.
Right,
Like
right, right.
I just insane.
And by the way, if they were happy and were married and then had a kid that 15 years later came out as gay, now you're going to decide, "Oh, okay, well, my religion tells me like you're like the Amish, like you're shunned." Like that's and Olivia's like, "I'm not about that life." So what I'm saying is if that's how he really really feels, then he needs to find someone to marry who aligns with that. Like that's
Totally.
I
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. I'm just saying that if that's really, really how he feels, well, she really, really feels the opposite. It's never going to work out. And I don't even know inherently how he would be able to change that belief. Like that's
No.
terrible. It's
It is
terrible.
terrible, but I do blame him for it because Olivia grew up in the same environment that he did,
Yeah.
and look how different they are, and she's managed to, like, open her mind and grow
Right.
and
Right.
understand the world, and so I wanna know
I
what
think
the
he
other
tried.
2.
He tried a little bit. He tried a little
He's
bit.
he's hopeless. He looks so miserable all the time. Like, he's, like, either, like he
Yeah.
just looks like a wet blanket all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, he does. And like I said, he Benjamin buttoned himself backwards 10 years too.
Dude, how is this dude's hair so fucking white? Like, it's, like, white. It's not even
I
blonde.
know.
He's, like, an adult man. Like, we all know the little kid that has, like, the white hair, and then
Yes.
as they get older, it gets to be, like, a darker blonde or just blonde.
Yeah.
His hair is literally white, and he has no eyebrows. I'm like,
Yeah.
"How are you, like, 30 and look like that?"
I know. I know. He definitely if listen, he needs some low lights and he needs to get that beard back. To
Wow,
to,
yeah, the beard
to
was good.
the beard helped. Um so she tells him she's like we have to move forward, we have to file. And he says, "I don't want that."
Mhm.
And she says very nicely, she goes, "I'm sorry. And I also think that like us dragging it out is going to make it harder for a longer period of time." And he says, "I don't know how you can just move on so easily." And she goes, It's not easy and I'm forcing myself to deal with it so I can feel it and get to the other side." And he says, "Are you sure we can't make this work? We can wait a few more months." And she goes, "No." And
Are
then he
you gonna
says,
in a
"I
few
can't,
months, are you gonna ask me to not disown my hypothetically gay child? No? Okay, sorry, still
right,
proceeding with divorce."
still proceeding, right, right. And are you still going to say that I'm not fit to be mother of your children? Because that's also a deal breaker, because if we're married and we're planning to have children, I'm going to be the mother of the children. Um, so he says, "Well, I can't do this with you today," which means like I'm done filming and you could just get on back to wherever you came from. So in the talking head, she says, "It is hard to see him because he's not doing well at all. And,
Yeah.
this indecision that he has is cementing my decision, because all these inconsistencies that he has is reminding me how it was in my marriage. I felt loved and not loved. I felt supported and not supported. It's a roller coaster. And today's my last day here in Minnesota. So I have no idea what we're going to do, but I can't do it on my own. It takes two people. And I feel really stuck." And then we see her sort of mournfully in her black leather leave the apartment. It's interesting, right? Because they're about to move, they have nothing on the walls or anything. So the
Yeah.
couches are white, the walls are white, the curtains are white, and he's sitting there in all this all white room. And then you look over to her and she's like in black leather.
I
She's
thought
like,
she looked great.
she does look
Her
great.
eyebrows look great, her hair looks great, I liked her outfit. She
Yeah.
looks
The
great.
the first outfit she arrived in was like business casual, and it was confusing.
Yeah, that was very weird, but
That was
not this
confusing.
episode. I just like, it was a big miss on Olivia's part to not have the paperwork. Like, this girl's organized. We know
Yeah.
you have the ability to get paperwork. Ethan's never gonna get paperwork, so,
No. Mm-mm.
like, go get paperwork, girl. I don't know, why did you come without the paperwork? Come with a pen, come with a backup pen,
Hmm.
make sure you can sign and get on your merry way.
Literally get a mediator, hire a
Yeah.
mediator for 2 hours, come to the apartment, have the mediator explain the document to him just to make sure there's no trickery in there. There's nothing I love more than a comfortable bra. Today's sponsor, Honey Love, has revolutionized the bra game. Look, everybody hates an uncomfortable bra. And I know I've introduced a lot of you to the idea of a sleeping bra. But then during the pandemic, my sleeping bra became my everyday bra. And that's not great. So, Honey Love is the best of both worlds. It's a next level comfortable bra that you'll forget about. And yes, you can sleep in it. You'll immediately feel and see the difference. It's so next level comfortable. You'll forget you're wearing it, honestly. We all know that feeling when you get home from a long day and immediately you want to take off the bra, like you're literally flinging it off while you drive up to your house. With Honey Love, you'll never experience that again. I have their best selling crossover bra. This bra gives all the support of a traditional bra without using any underwires. And Honey Love's bras are designed with the back smoothing fabric to prevent that bra bulge. I mean, there's nothing worse than back fat spurting out of your bra. So I'm glad Honey Love has fixed that for me. I would also highly recommend their V bra. It offers the support of a traditional bra, and it's not like a shelf like bra that creates that uniboob. And Honey Love also has more than just bras. They have incredibly comfortable shapewear tanks and leggings. Oh, it's almost leggings weather again, you guys. They have those leggings for everyday support. Treat yourself to the best bras on the market and save 20% off at honeylove.com/pink shade. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off. That's honeylove.com/pink shade. Again, use our exclusive link to get 20% off, honeylove.com/pink shade. And after you purchase, they'll say, "Hey, where did you hear about us?" Make sure you support our show and tell them Pink Shade sent you. Thank you. Um, okay, now we're in Crawfordville, Florida. So the little girls are at Taekwondo. How long does Taekwondo last? Because she's like in a full other town riding four wheelers with Ken. Is Taekwondo 6 hours? So she's probably got that older one, just like you guys get an Uber and I'll meet you back at the boat. So she says four wheeling is fun. She's never going to have another boyfriend that doesn't have a four wheeler. And she loves spending time at Ken's. It's so fun. Now we see Ken and his wonky eye standing in front of a bed. There's a bed in the background talking about asking Kim to move in. Now, if you don't think the production did that on purpose, he could have been
How did
standing
he ask, Mary Payne?
anywhere in that house.
Was he like, after the move in? But she said no. I'm like, excuse me? What?
Ah,
Man, what did you say? I did not understand a single word this man said. I'm not sure I can recap this scene. I literally did not understand. I know I don't know anything about the South. People come at us all the time for this. I know you know things about Can you
I
understand him?
Yeah, I can. I
Okay,
can.
I have no fucking clue what he said. None.
I speak drunk Southerner, so I
Well, I
get
hope
it.
he's not drunk on a four-wheeler because,
Oh, he's
that's
drunk. They're
oof,
always
oof.
drunk. These
Okay.
2. These
Yeah.
2 we love to throw back a margarita. So, Kim tells us that early on, the kids were standoffish with Ken and, "Oh, really? Because you started
No way.
banging him before you left Barry? Alright." And, as time has passed, the kids have grown to love him. I mean, they love us. They love to be with us, and
Mhm.
Ken did ask me to move in, but I have to get past the divorce first. But we You're so full of shit. We all know you live with Ken. Why are we
Yeah.
pretending? For court
Well,
proceedings? Who cares?
what's the houseboat is just for when the girls are visiting, right?
Yeah, and by the way, it's not a houseboat, it's just a boat.
It's just a boat, right? I know, I was like, that's like the boat, like, when I was younger, we used to, like, have a boat we didn't, but my friend's family had a boat on Lake Erie, and we would all
Yeah,
sleep on the boat because it had, like, the little thing underneath, it had, like, a
yeah,
little bedroom and then a little thing yeah, I was like, You're not supposed to live on that boat." Like, you can't cook in that boat, you have to go outside
yeah, you gotta
to the
go to
grill.
the parking lot, to the grill.
Yeah.
No, it's not a houseboat. It's not a it is a boat, like producer Ingrid and her husband used to have a boat. It looked just like that. You could
I'm
ski
not
behind it.
knocking
It's a
it, it looks
boat.
really fun, I love a boat,
No, it
but
doesn't look fun, it looks crowded. It looks
yeah,
terrible. A
I
lot of
mean,
live, laugh, love signs. No, it's not fun.
I guess the girls, if they're only there for a night, a week, it's like,
No,
"Oh,
they're there
fun."
for an entire week.
Wait, what? How do
Yeah,
they
didn't you he said
survive?
Barry said they're at Kim's for a week.
What? How do they get ready for school? Oh, as I was saying that, I remembered.
LOL.
Wait a
S
minute, so
Boat
who is
school.
teaching them things?
Kim, that's who was taught all the other kids.
But what about when they're at Barry's for the week?
Kim sends them with their notebooks. I don't She
Do
sends them
we
with the workbooks.
do we have, like, proof of literacy, like, for the kids?
Um, no.
Okay.
I'm literally zipping my mouth on what I'd like to say about Moriah. Okay. So, all right. So she is sitting on a stump talking to Ken and says, yeah, it's been over 2 years since I asked Barry for the divorce, and we're still trying to work out the assets and the properties and stuff. And this is my note. He's country drunk mush mouth. This is what I say. Country drunk mush mouth. And he says, well, I'm willing to continue to wait. And the more they get to know me, they're going to realize how immature I am. And everybody seems to come around, everybody but Barry. Yeah. And she says it will be that way until he gets a girlfriend. And then once he gets a girlfriend, we can all be one big happy family and everything will be fine.
Yeah, I know, and I'm surprised, honestly, that Barry doesn't have a girlfriend.
I'm
I
not.
His, like, DMs have gotta be a mess. No?
Um, Maybe, but I don't
I
want to think about that.
I don't either, and look, I find him disgusting, but, like, there's always, like, these crazy women that come out or people, not just women, men too, that
Yeah.
come out of the woodwork for these nutcases that we watch on
Mhm.
these shows, and so I'm just like, there's gotta be women into Barry.
There are definitely women in Cairo that have seen, oh, if he bought her a ballet studio and a building. I mean, they think, he's probably, it seems like, listen, especially because they kick their kids out when they're 17. They don't have anybody to support. They've only got the little girls at this point. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
oof, rough.
let's go on to Phoenix, Arizona, where we have Olivia hanging out with her sister Lydia Grace.
I liked this.
I like it too. They are so Even though Lydia Grace has changed her hair to brown, they still look so much alike.
They do.
It looks so
Yeah.
I don't know what the a I don't know how much younger Lydia Grace is, but I bet it's like a year. I mean,
They look very, very they could be twins. Like, if you
they
told me they're
could.
twins, I would be like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, I agree.
But Olivia's an old soul. Like, she
Yeah,
just, like, presents older, whereas Lydia Grace has, like, a box of 1,000 condoms and is, like, clearly banging her way around, which I fully support.
me too.
Yeah.
I think that, I'm really, really glad that Olivia has Lydia Grace that's really on, like, lockstep on the same journey with her, grew up in the same family, like knows, like can really understand everything Olivia went through with the Plaths because she could have found herself in that exact situation, you know?
Mhm.
So they're hanging out, and we find out Lydia Grace wanted a fresh start, so she moved to the West Coast. I mean, Phoenix is not really the coast, but it is in the West, and they're only 6 hours driving distance apart. And Olivia's in LA, and so they're closer, and that's great. So Lydia Grace and her ex-boyfriend, whatever his name was, were together for 4 years, and that's all she ever knew. She's telling this to Olivia, who says, like, yeah, I get it. But Lydia Grace loves being single now. And Olivia goes, it's wild that we're like in the exact same spot in our lives. And, she's like, Ethan's not ready to sign the paperwork. It's really hard for him. And I understand it because he's a person who doesn't like to process things. And, I don't love him romantically anymore, but I still really care about him. And it's hard on me because it's hard for him. But that doesn't mean I also am not allowed to have like frustration that he's dragging his feet. Like I have empathy for what he's going through, but also I'm so frustrated because it's just like, just sign it. Because I feel like that's the last piece. And so Lydia Grace is like, so you're gonna have to go back to Minnesota. She was
Right.
like, yeah. She's like, yeah. And I'm gonna have to,
No, you don't have to go back. You have him served. Like,
oh, that's a good point,
you
Kim.
don't have to go back. People get divorced all the time without, like, running around and fighting the person.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you're right. I had a friend in Mississippi who was trying to divorce her husband, but like he had moved on with like a new girlfriend and lived somewhere else. And she literally was like I want to be divorced, but I can't even find him to get divorced. And one of her friends at work was like, "Did you look on Facebook?" And she's like, "Huh." She literally looked on Facebook and he had
There is.
changed his like location and relationships. She's like, "Huh, never thought to look there." Figured out
Yeah.
exactly where he was, and like her coworker in like 5 minutes was like, "Here's where he is and here's where he works. It looks like he's on tomorrow." And she was like, "Oh, huh, wasted a year. I could have just done that."
That's
Um,
great. Oh, that's
uh,
so funny.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she made a big error in not bringing the paperwork with her, but, like,
right. She didn't even print it out. Like she was like, "I'm gonna have to go to the Hampton Inn and print it out." Yeah,
I know. Um, I bet they're dragging it out too. It sounds like she mentioned an asset that they had to talk through, and I'm like, "What could it possibly be? You guys don't own anything."
unless they were like renting out their home and they didn't sell it. You know what
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean?
Good
They
point.
could have done that. Um, so Olivia tells us, I gave my marriage everything I had, and I have zero doubts that I fought as hard as I could for it. And as a matter of fact, I stayed past the expiration date. And now that I've moved on and I feel peaceful, I realize how chaotic and dysfunctional my life was. And I don't miss it because now I'm realizing my whole world didn't feel safe. And Lydia Grace is already going on these dates, but dating after marrying the first guy you ever even held hands with is wild.
Weird.
Yeah. And she
Yeah.
says casual connections are very hard for her. And then she and her sister, like I said, with the Plath family, it's always good, clean fun. There's a lot of giggling. There's a lot of like rolling tires in the yard and playing Uno. And it's just a good, clean fun. And even when they're talking about sex and the condoms, they're just like, sex
I
is
know.
funny, you know?
Oh, yeah. Lydia Grace, though, I mean, she does admit in this scene that Olivia is more of a monogamous relationship person, and her personality lends to having one person and not kind of banging around. Like Lydia Grace admits, she's like, I don't think I want to get married. I'm
Yeah.
cool just like having casual relationships, but she recognizes that Olivia is not like that, you
It was
know?
interesting that she told Olivia, she goes, you don't have to get married to have sex.
Yeah.
She's like, that's not how it is anymore, and I was like,
Olivia's like, oh,
oh,
hmm,
really? Okay. Now let's go to Tallahassee. The
mm,
Plaths cannot stay out of Tallahassee. That
nope.
is their kryptonite. They love that place. No, it's not their kryptonite. It's their opposite of kryptonite. They can't stay away from it. They love it.
They love
And
it.
they love
I've never been to
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee. What's it like?
It's just near Cairo. That's all I know. I don't know. It's on the border there of Florida and Georgia. So that's all I can tell you.
All right.
Um, and so it's a 45 minutes to drive away. And Moriah says, when you have money, you have freedom. And when you don't have money, you don't have freedom. And she likes her job. She's been saving up to record her music. God, no. Please,
No,
no. No,
girl.
please, no. girl, no.
Are we never gonna address that Olivia stole her music? Like,
Right.
meaning
She
that Moriah just didn't know her Spotify password? Like,
did
or
not know her Spotify password
yeah.
and didn't know how to hit reset on her own email address. And yeah.
Again, don't blame her because the girl didn't get an education, but stop blaming Olivia. She tried to help you. And remember last season when Moriah had that super baller apartment in Tallahassee?
Yeah, I do.
She blew all of her Matt Sharp money, like, or whoever produces this show, like, right away, and then it was, like, done,
Yeah.
and now she has nothing left. She had to live with Barry again. Oh,
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so we see her doing her job, and she says she does like bartending better than serving because serving is like, and it was like you could see the wheels turning, but like there was no rat on the wheel. Like she couldn't figure out the words, but then she came up with it. Serving is like manual labor.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So is
Okay.
bartending, by the way, if you're actually bartending. Like, you've gotta drag kegs around and stuff. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people have bar backs for that, but, like, I had to change my own kegs when I was a bartender and, like, drag boxes of alcohol around and ice, and it's
And you're
very
on your feet the entire time.
totally, it's very exhausting. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know.
I don't know what kind of bartending she's doing. So back at home in Cairo, Isaac, Lydia, Micah, and Moriah are playing some kind of Scrabble game. I couldn't quite make heads or tails of what it was. But Barry's there, and Barry is he is dad jokes on dad jokes. When you look up dad jokes in the dictionary, there's Barry. He loves a dad pun. Loves. Ethan's coming over. They're excited. The prodigal son will return. And it's all just goofy and good, clean fun while they're playing this game, talking about how cold it is in Minnesota. And Barry chatters his teeth, and all the kids are like, Dad, so funny. Um, Ethan tells them all he's getting a divorce. That's what's going on with him. And
As if they didn't know.
he's got his pants pulled up to his belly button, and he's just depressed, his Wranglers. And he says, I asked her if we could give it a go. Hold on, my son is calling me. Send that to voicemail. He says, I asked Olivia if we could give it another go, and it was a no. Now, all of them are looking around like, he did what? Like,
Yeah.
after all this, and now he still wants her back? Like, what? By the way, he hadn't thought that through either. He hasn't thought through, what if she says yes and we get back together? They have solved no problems. They're back
No.
to square one. So Barry says, listen, I'm not surprised that they're at this divorce point because it was on last year's season and we talk, but I'm pretending to be surprised for this show. But I am concerned for Ethan because divorce is a rough thing. And Moriah says, yeah, like we're all here for you, whatever you need. And Micah says, I'm only a phone call away. If you're up in Minnesota, I can fly up there. And Moriah says last year was rough in their relationship and they let things be issues that should not have been issues. One of those was the aforementioned Spotify account
Yeah. Yeah.
that Ethan 100% backed up Olivia and was like, none of that happened what Moriah said. Olivia completely walked her through how to get to it and the $12 that she earned or whatever. And it's not our fault she didn't know how to reset her account.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mariah's
it was
forgetting that.
really I just like, what is the outcome of that? Like, does Ethan still hate Moriah? Because they were at odds about that last year, and then there were all those claims too about, like, Kim Plath and how she, like, used Ethan's credit or something
That's
to
not claims. I mean, Olivia has explained the entire story, and Ethan
yeah.
said 100% that is true. That is what happened.
Right. But has he forgiven his mom, or does he still, like,
No, I don't think so.
angry at Olivia about that? I don't get it.
He's not angry at Olivia about that because it's true, and that's what happened. Yes, I think he's still angry at Kim about it. He says he hasn't seen her in 2 years.
Oh, I
And
didn't realize that. I thought I saw her last season, although I guess that was a while ago. And why is he in Minnesota?
they decided to move to Minnesota together because remember they were going to move to a different place every 6 months.
I know they were, but, like, she's gone now, so, like, Ethan, go to Cairo. Like, what are
Well,
you doing up there?
well, number 1, he said the lease wasn't up and he decided to stay. And his grandparents were there and he had 2 jobs. So he was and Barry's parents are the only people in the family that liked Olivia. So that's why they moved there, to be around family that liked her.
Oh god. I mean,
Terrible.
it just feels like he's in denial. Like, he's telling his
Yes.
family we're getting divorced, which I was, like, surprised because I was like, "He's gonna hide this from them until the papers are signed." But I don't know, maybe he is dealing with it. It's hard to tell.
I don't think he's dealing with it. But also
Father
doesn't I don't think he wants her back either.
No, I know. He doesn't want her, he wants her to change and then be married still.
Yeah, right.
Father and son coordinated divorce, pretty great.
It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
So, Micah says, he has forgiven Olivia for the hurt that she caused their family.
Oh god,
All right,
Micah.
Micah. All
Ugh.
right. Get on back to Boca to your
You
girlfriend.
Micah's such a fun, hot little thing until you're like, "Oh, sweet summer child. No, 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 no.
No,
He's such an idiot."
you're on the wrong side here, Micah.
Micah and
Mike.
his girlfriend are like Targaryens. Like, are they related? Are we sure? I don't know. Oh, they
I
look
need somebody to
very similar.
Google how tall is Micah Plath because we know that the girlfriend is 6'2".
Wait, what? We don't know that, Mary Payne.
Yeah.
I know that now, but
Yeah. Look her up.
wow, she's 6'2"?
Yeah, every picture she's with guys, she's a full which she looks like, to use the Darcy and Stacy term, a boss babe. She's a boss bitch. She's a boss. She's a boss lady. Yeah, she's like towering over the guys in the pictures, like, fuck off, fellas. Here I am. Yeah.
Oh my god, I did not know that. Wow, that is
Mhm.
fascinating.
Do you have opinions on her Chanel bags, real or fake?
I don't know things like that.
Mm.
Um, but I don't know if she's Southern. They're probably real, right?
You keep saying she's Southern, but she's from Florida, and that's
Oh,
totally
I don't.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh.
But that's
uh,
a solid 50K, 60K worth of handbags.
what? Okay. But all these young real estate agents are trying to be like selling Sunset,
You're right.
and
You're right.
so that would lend to them being real. But she's in Boca Raton. I don't know anything about Boca Raton, but like, it's not Hollywood.
It's where you
So maybe they're
retire.
just fake. I mean,
Yeah.
who really knows?
I think one's real and the rest are fake. Y'all know how much I love Tropical Smoothie Cafe, and Tropical Smoothie Cafe wants to celebrate summer with you. This week only, which is July 22nd through the 28th, Tropic Rewards members get a free Island Punch smoothie with a bowl or a food purchase. You guys know how much I love their turkey bacon ranch sandwich, and I also love the acai bowls. The Island Punch smoothie is my husband's favorite smoothie. It has peach, guava, passion fruit, mango, and pineapple. And again, this week you can get a free Island Punch smoothie with a food or a bowl purchase. You can order in the app, online, or in cafe. Tropical Smoothie Cafe, you're on Tropic Time now. So,
Maybe.
okay.
All
So
right.
Micah says, to his family, he says, you know, no, so sorry, not Micah, Ethan. Ethan says to his family, I find it ironic that I had to do things and not have relationships with people in order to make my marriage work. And maybe it worked for a short time, but it wasn't an answer in the long run. And all of it's been said and done, and it didn't work because all of you are here for me and she's not because you're getting divorced. So
Yeah,
that's what
dude.
happens. I mean, okay. Barry says, do you think you're in denial about this? And he says, yeah, I'm not sure. I refused to do the paperwork, but I was feeling rushed. I was feeling rushed into it. And I just feel like it's ridiculous to end it after we tried so hard.
Yeah,
But
he's got sunk cost fallacy, he's
yes,
thinking.
yes.
Yeah.
And so everybody goes back in to play their board game and good, clean fun. And Barry and Ethan talk alone. And Barry says, I've gone through the same thing. I've been through it. And, yes, our situations are very different, um, but they're common denominators here. There's denial, there's bargaining, there's anger, and there's depression. Sounds like Barry's had some therapy, which makes me real happy.
It does. Barry is, like, such a hard one because on the surface, he's, like, just a jolly, skinny weirdo,
Mhm.
but, like, that darkness is in there,
Oh, yeah.
um, and I don't know. So it's like, he's gross, but he doesn't appear it all the time.
Yeah.
And he does seem to really love his kids and actually be like a decent dad when he's not
Yeah.
brainwashing them. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. 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 I am starting to see Barry as just another victim of Kim.
oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
Mhm.
I think Barry really, it was his idea, the whole quiverful thing, right? He is the one that like had the expectation of her to be submissive and like live out in the
But
middle of nowhere.
yeah,
He
but
was
she
going
never
to
was.
Tallahassee every day.
Yeah, but she never was
Yeah.
submissive. She was always, as Ethan said, the neck that turned the head. She always
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. God,
Um,
why is that phrase so creepy? I hear the neck that turned the head and I'm like, oh, I just think of like a horror movie. I don't know why.
I do too, and I can't remember where it came from, but it does make a lot of
I think
sense.
it's biblical.
Oh, see, look at you knowing things.
I know.
Um, Ethan says, "Yeah, I'm just waiting for the depression to go away, but it hasn't. Just
That's
sitting
an
here."
effective strategy. I'm just waiting for
Yeah,
it to go away.
it'll just go away eventually. And Barry says, "Yeah, this depression is just a visitor." Well, you know what? It might be not be. You might need therapy. You might need medication. It might not just be a visitor. You need to look
I
into that,
mean,
guys.
Ethan tried therapy like 2 times and,
Right. But he doesn't
at
want to talk
Olivia's
about.
request, and I don't think he's ever gonna go back. He
No,
said he
no,
didn't
no.
like it. He said he was
No.
uncomfortable.
He don't want to talk about his feelings.
Mm-mm.
So Ethan says, I think of all the things I could have done differently. And Barry goes, well, I think you did a lot. And now you just have to, grin and bear it, basically. And Ethan says, why doesn't she see that I did a lot? And Barry says, now tell me what you thought this meant. Because Barry says, it's not about you and your realm. It's about her and her realm. Huh?
I think that's some evangelical coded language of
Okay.
she's with the devil, right? I don't know. I mean, don't come at me.
Oh,
I'm making this up. I don't understand this world, but that is what comes to mind immediately.
I think it really means like, listen, you stay in your lane, let her stay in your lane. You guys are getting divorced. It doesn't matter what she thinks. It's sort of like other people's opinions of me are none of my business. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like that. It's sort of like it doesn't matter what her realm is. It's a matter of how you feel. If it is an evangelical thing, somebody let us know. So Ethan says, I'm only 25. I'm still young, but
He's 25?
they are both 25.
We've been
They are
following them since they were like 20, Mary Payne.
19. They got married when they were 19.
Yeah, but we didn't see him that year, did we? It was the year after, right?
It was right after, yeah.
Oh my god. I feel
Mhm.
like he's lived a whole I feel like he is middle-aged.
Well, except for the face, he's going backwards. Benjamin Button. Um, and says, and he says, I'm only 25. I've got a lot, got a lot of years ahead of me, unlike you, Dad. But he says, thinking of getting to know somebody else is so overwhelming. And Barry goes, yeah, it's too early to think about that. And here's where I felt Barry did a tss to Kim. He says, yeah, it's too early. Rebounding so fast is probably not healthy.
I gotta
Looking at,
agree with Barry on that one because Kim ended up
yeah,
with Ken, and Ken is drunken on a four-wheeler and,
mushmouth.
eh yeah, can't understand him, so
And also, I think it's very well known that they were together before she officially left Barry. And again, guys, he's a full blown racist. Just check out his Facebook.
don't
Um,
I would encourage everyone to not check out his Facebook or his
okay,
Instagram, just for your own mental health. There is enough news in the
yeah,
docket right now. We don't need to be checking out Ken's Instagram.
okay,
Kyle
you're
said
right.
the same thing. He was like, "His Instagram is a nightmare." I'm like, "Why are you looking at that? Why
Okay,
are you looking at that?"
I didn't even know he had Instagram, so I'm glad I didn't know, and I'm not going to look.
Oh, it's Mary Payne, it's horrifying. Just like, yeah,
Okay,
just
I don't want to know.
oh,
I don't want to know.
horrible. I mean, if you're a masochist, like, go for it, but
No, I'm no, But I did think that was funny that Barry was like, "Yeah, it's probably a little soon on the
it's probably a
rebound."
little soon. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um, Ethan says last year and a half of his life have been the hardest, and he feels like he really tried. And his dad saying he agrees that he tried is encouraging, and he carries around this depression and pain. And he's glad his dad really understands because he's going through the same thing. And now we see Barry say, "So, like, while you're in town, you're going to go see Amber, Cassia, and Mercy over at the houseboat because they're not here for the week." So he realizes if he wants to see the little girls, he's got one of them who's 14, by the way. You're going to have to go over to the boat. All right, now let's go to this tarot card reading. I would like to go see this tarot card reader. I was fascinated. I thought she was great.
You know how we feel over at Cray Cray about tarot and all things astrology, which gets us a lot of hate, but
Uh-huh.
we are science-based people. So I'm
Okay.
sorry I thought this. I mean, I enjoy it because it's funny to me. I
Yeah.
don't believe any of this, and I think cards cannot tell you the future, but it's fun,
Right.
harmless, whatever.
Yes. Yes.
What I did not like is that Olivia seemed giddy, that this tarot card reader told her, "You're gonna, like, marry your ex-husband, like, again." We do not want this for Olivia.
No, and I don't think it's giddy. I think it's the same thing as when they were talking about sex and they just get giggly because they don't know how to handle any kind of conversation or emotion or anything weird.
Okay.
She and her sister giggle a lot about like, boys have penises. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I think she giggles out of nervousness.
Yeah, got it. I mean,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I just the things that she like, you have an angel around you. Like, you could say that to literally anyone. Like,
But she did say brother, and that's specific.
no. Oh, she did say, "Do
She
you
did
have a
say
brother?"
she said, "Do you have a brother?"
Yeah, but she probably
Um,
looked her up before. Like,
stop,
I
stop.
don't know.
I'm sure she did, and I'm sure it's all legit. So, Olivia and Lydia Grace go to this woman, her name's Tanya, who says, "Good morning, nice to meet yous." And, I was like, "What are you, like, from New York City? Good day, nice to meet yous." Um,
It was great.
Olivia says she's doing this tarot card reading as fun. It's just to dismantle some prejudices that she had against it. She's open to what people think are occult practices in her old life. And she says, I can't weigh in on if something's bad or good if I didn't experience it. I think she's doing it just to have fun, just as like she would go to like a, a crystal festival. I mean,
That's
it's the
fun.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all
Yeah.
for that. Look, I've been to a tarot card reader. I thought it was hilarious. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mercury
So,
is in retrograde, as Tania said.
yeah, it's always in retrograde, I feel like. So Tanya says, you have a long life to live, so that's great. You're a water soul. You feel at ease near the water. She talks about the angel around her, her brother. Um, Olivia's brother was killed unexpectedly. We know all this.
Yeah, that
And
was sad. Mm.
she does say when she was back home, it was interesting to see her older brothers and sisters. It's interesting Olivia does not use the term siblings all the time like the Plaths do, because the Plaths say sibling constantly. My siblings, my siblings. She says it was interesting to see her older brothers and sisters and how they handled it. They are
Yeah.
at peace because he's in heaven now, and they use religion as an explanation as to what happened. They use it as a crutch. And she says, and I can understand why people would do that because it does make you feel better. But I don't want to do that anymore. I want to try to understand what happened. And I'm wondering, like, where is he now? And I also have to accept that maybe I'll never fully understand it.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear how Olivia, like, didn't know how to interpret that because she didn't have the religion that her siblings do to, like, guide her and
Hmm.
think about it. I was sad for her in that moment because, again, she grew up thinking a certain way, and now she's questioning everything, and I don't know, I felt really bad for her.
It's also that her younger siblings were taken away from her parents before that happened and then returned to her parents. And then her brother died in their care.
Wait,
These
what?
are facts. I'm just saying facts. These are facts. And she reminded me of that when I talked to her last year. And so there's a lot of, they were returned to the parents' care, and then the brother died on their watch, basically. So I think she and Lydia Grace also have a lot of issues around that, whereas the other siblings can sort of write it off as like, this is God's will and he's in heaven. And she and Lydia don't feel that way. And she has other siblings that left the religion and returned, sort of like Moriah has done.
Okay.
And what she said was she totally understands that because it would be so much easier to just do that.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
see that. I do understand that. Wow, we're gonna have to talk, offline about the brother thing because now I'm like, "What happened?"
Hmm. I think he had
Uh,
some kind of go-kart accident, I think. Somebody can correct me, but it was some kind of accident like but he was like maybe on a busy street at night or something. Anyway, what she said to me, these facts. They were taken away by CPS. They were returned. Some did return of their own free will. Some returned because the state deemed it so because they had a lawyer that was close with the people in the county that got the kids returned to them, and then her brother was killed while they were supposed to be in
Oof.
charge of him. So I think that is all mired in. I mean, if you guys think the Plaths have got some fucked up shit, the Megs do as well.
Yeah.
The Megs do as well. So anyway, moving past that sadness, Tanya says, like, I see some abandonment in you. And then, I mean, Olivia laughed. She was like, okay, now I'm going to give her extra money because she said abandonment. She's telling me what I want to hear, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Tanya says, you're meant to be married only once and have 2 children. And you have to give this man time to grow because he's stuck in his ways. He's going to have other relationships. And I see you having 2 more relationships. And then you guys will reunite. And I see this happening in 2 years. And she's like, yeah, no, no. And Olivia says, look, I never say never on anything, but I don't like that. I don't like those cards. Next.
Yeah.
She laughs about it because she's uncomfortable, I think.
I hope
Because
so. And I hope this isn't true. Like,
it isn't true.
there is, again, unless Ethan completely changes his like view of the world, like I don't even remember what were the other 2 things on the list. There was like, you have to agree to disown our child if the child is gay. And was it one about like patriotism or something?
She has to be a patriot, and she has to basically make dinner every night and raise the children in the way that they were raised, basically. Like they
Okay,
can't go
that's a
to
lot.
they can't go to school, that kind of thing.
So give up everything about who you are.
And go back and do exactly how we were raised. That didn't work for us, but let's try it this yeah.
Yeah. And how is he planning on being the breadwinner in this scenario?
Because he fixes cars and Mo's works for a lawn service. I don't know.
I mean,
She
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 is
makes
making the money.
she's the one making the money. So yeah, I don't know. I
Oh,
don't know. I don't
Ethan.
know.
I don't
So
know. I would say I hope Olivia gets to like hook up with some hotties, but I just don't think she's really going to enjoy that. So
she's got a boyfriend. She's posted him on social media. She hasn't shown his face, but she's got a pretty serious guy that I
okay,
guess we're
but
going to
it's
see in the
serious.
season.
That's okay. I just like she doesn't seem like she'd be into hookup culture and like
No. Mm-mm.
casual sex. So I don't want that for her
No.
if that's not going to make her happy. But
But Lydia Grace can go for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Lydia Grace, you do you. Oh, by the
Yeah.
way, Lydia Plath,
Yeah.
almost absent from this season. Like,
So far, yeah.
where is she? What?
She's out singing to the Lord. I don't know. She's out. She's wandering on the forest barefoot singing to God. I don't know.
I just don't want her. Ugh,
Off key.
she's
Um,
lost to us. I mean, yeah.
so okay. So Tanya says the cards show that maybe you feel like a fool and that you've wasted your energy and love and time. And do you forgive this man? And Olivia goes, yeah, it's not forgiving. Like, it's just like, it's fine. So they go outside. So she does say to her, like, if somebody didn't fully believe in this, does it mean it's accurate? And Tanya says, yes, it's accurate whether you believe in it or not. So Olivia goes out and goes, what? Like, I marry my ex? Like, I don't know if I should laugh or cry. Like, it's like anything. You take what you want from it and then feel good about that and then leave the rest. And outside, they're like, yeah, some of this is not right. Ingrid and I saw a like a psychic person when we were in LA because we had to because we were in LA. And
It is fun. I won't deny you
literally,
that.
yeah. So we were told that Ingrid's husband is going away, death or something, and she's going to be hooking up with some real young guy. And my husband and I were going to lose all our money pretty quickly, but it's fine because it wouldn't last long. So, you guys, Ingrid's husband is still alive. She has not taken a lover, and we are still doing fine financially. So none of it came true.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean,
Yeah.
what's your opinion on tarot generally? For
Um,
fun, or you believe it?
yeah, it's fun. I think it's
Yeah,
fun. Yeah.
I agree.
Next time on Welcome to Plathville, Kim, Micah's really tired and Lydia starts to sing that only dogs in the neighborhood can hear, and that immediately puts him to sleep. Yeah.
I enjoy Micah. I don't know why.
I think Micah would not disown a gay child.
You don't? But
No,
he hated Olivia.
it doesn't matter. No, he had lots of like gay and straight and non-binary friends when he lived in LA. I think he's
I know.
accepting.
I think so too. That's why I can't wrap my head around the Olivia thing.
Right. Why is he? Yeah. I don't know.
I
Um,
loved his little group of nerds in
oh,
LA.
I loved those nerds. I
They were
love that
really nerdy.
they would get drunk on like 3 beers and be like, "He's real good looking. He's gonna hook up. I can't believe
Remember
it."
he tried to cook dinner for his Indian friend that was vegetarian, and he, like, didn't understand that chicken's an animal, and, like, his friend couldn't eat chicken?
Right, right. He's like, "It's okay if there's bone broth, right? Beef broth, is that good?"
Oh my
Um,
god. Poor
Olivia and
friend.
Lydia Grace go out. They're single. They're ready to mingle. Lydia Grace is showing her how to use a fake name. Olivia doesn't catch on. Olivia's like, "Your name's not Jackie?" She's like, "Oh my God." Um,
Olivia. You think she's so advanced until she's, like, shows her innocence, and you're like, "Olivia,
I
come
know,
on,
bless
girl."
her. Bless her.
Yeah.
She is like out at a bar in like a working lady's blazer,
I know, it's
and her
great.
sister's in a tank top. Um, So Moriah, Ethan, and Micah are going to see the little girls at the houseboat. Stupid, not houseboat. And it's been 2 years since Ethan saw his mom. And Kim says, Ethan, her child, can be so unpredictable. So I'm nervous to see him because you just don't even know. Again, you're the parent. This is your child. It's your oldest child, by the by. And yeah, you don't need to be. You as the parent need to be working on this, not just being like, "Oh, Ethan, he's so wild and unpredictable." You're the parent. You should be trying to
Yeah,
see your child.
I know. What happened to her dance studio? Did we ever get the story or it just, like, disappeared?
Well, she had that hot girl summer apartment above it,
Yeah.
and Barry sold the whole building. So,
Oh,
so
okay.
no, Kim doesn't get to
So
live
then
and
she
get
bought a boat.
DUIs and live in the hot girl summer apartment in her skirts from Costco. No, ma'am, she does not.
That's fair.
No, no,
I
she does
think that's
not.
fair, yeah.
No, 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 ma'am. No. And I also wonder if she has that houseboat because that's the only way she's allowed to get around. I don't know if with that DUI, if she could be driving a car. She can only drive a houseboat.
Great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can drive a boat pretty drunk. I mean, I don't know if it's illegal, isn't it?
Yeah, you're definitely not supposed to. Hello, look at the Murdochs.
Ah, oof,
Yeah,
rough. Yeah, I know,
yeah.
like, growing up, some people did, but you weren't
Also a
supposed to.
four-wheeler. Four-wheeler's pretty acceptable drunk driving as well.
Oof, I just know people that have died on four-wheelers. Be
Yeah,
careful out there, guys. I mean, it's no
dangerous,
joke. They are dangerous, really
dangerous.
dangerous,
How
and
about just don't
yeah.
drink and drive? Don't drink and drive anything, not even a
Don't
tractor.
operate a motor vehicle if you're drunk. How hard is it?
Um, and also when I talked to Olivia, she did tell me that the reason the DUI was never brought up was because they agreed, housewife style, if no one says it on camera, then somebody else can't say it, right? So if it's never brought up, then there's no point counterpoint. So if no one ever mentions it ever, then they can't talk about it. And they were all told not to mention it.
Wow.
So
All right.
what can TLC do? The producer can't ask her about it if it's not something that she said, right? They can't
Yeah.
ask Olivia about it if she never said and Kim got a DUI because it's just like being on the stand, right? You can't bring it up if the person didn't bring it up.
I mean, what's the point anyway? She got a DUI at the end.
She flipped her car into a ditch filled with water and almost died
Oh, I
on
did
her
not realize it was that serious.
on her
Wow.
way to see Ken. Yeah,
Wow. She was gonna go, like, get laid. Like, she was gonna go have drunk sex and, like,
she
flip
was
her car.
margarita drunk. She'd had 2 margaritas, she said.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
2 margaritas?
that's what she said.
Okay.
I believe that was in the police report,
I'm glad nobody else was hurt. That is really bad.
It's really bad. It's
Oof.
really, really bad. But Ethan is, Olivia is the devil for wanting to, let her kids
Mm.
live their lives. I mean, it's
I
upsetting. It's upsetting.
I feel 0 empathy for Ethan, like, because I know that now.
I feel zero empathy for him as well. And I don't understand how all of a sudden he thinks we should get back together. We're going to work this out when their fundamental differences of life are so
Yeah.
vastly different. And I want to clarify this. And I said this last week too. I'm not saying it's fine what he believes and whatever. I'm saying if those are truly his beliefs, then he does need to find a person that has those same beliefs because he's
Yeah.
being with somebody who's absolutely the opposite. I mean, she's very, very known for taking photos of gay weddings. So she's very, very much an ally. And so she obviously cannot be married to somebody who is an anti-ally. I'm not saying I think what he's feeling is right. What I'm saying is those are his feelings. It's going to be very hard for him to change them. They're very ingrained in him, and he needs to find somebody to marry that
Yeah.
believes those same things.
Yeah, if he
And
wants to
maybe
be
just don't
happy.
have kids because your chances
Ugh.
are you could have one that's gay. The
Or
end.
any myriad of things. I mean, you
Not
you don't know
perfect.
what your kid's
Yeah.
gonna be like.
No, you have no way. You roll the dice.
Ugh,
You
horrible.
roll the dice on it. Everybody, please listen to the amazing podcast, 90 Day Fiance Cray Cray. How many years have you guys been covering 90 Day Fiance together, you and Kyle?
7 years.
7 years.
I know, it's crazy, huh? I remember, like, I was thinking about Angela, I
Really?
feel like lightly,
Why?
just because the No Limits, Tell All Extravaganza, 7 parts, is coming up, and,
Mhm.
we normally don't cover her because it's so repetitive and she's abusive and whatever, but, like, with the Tell All, it's like, you've gotta just cover you can't separate it, and
Yeah, right.
I was like, "Wow, we were covering her, like, way back when." She has
Yeah.
been on this show for so many years, like 6 years.
Yeah. Why? Like, get her off.
I
We're
don't
done.
know.
We're done with her. We're done. We're done. We are done. We don't want to see her on the single life. We
No.
don't want to see her back on Therapy Island. Like, we're done. Like, we are done with Angela and Michael. Michael, fly like a bird, be free. We love it for you. We love it
Yeah.
for you. Oh, God.
I wanna see Michael in his hot girl summer, I mean,
Me,
what
me too. Why have they called this tell all No Limits?
I don't know, but when Jasmine and Gino posted it on Instagram, I was like, "There's another show that Jasmine and Gino are on? No, I'm done." And then I realized that's just what they're calling the tell-all. I,
Yeah, and
texted Kyle, I was like, "How is there another show with Jasmine and Gino? I can't."
yeah,
He was
it's
like,
also
"That's
fake.
tell-all."
It's
Yeah.
also fake. I looked up everything about that pageant. And here's what I found. It is a real pageant, and all of those titles are real, except Miss
Hers.
except for hers.
Yeah. I
She
got it in
does
the
not.
text thread, but then I,
Yeah.
for some
Oh, yeah, I
reason,
forgot. I
can't, like,
forgot I had that text thread with
reply
you and Matt. Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
everybody and only you. That was so weird. But anyway, yeah, also, do you think it's real that they're, like, separated?
Yeah, I think they are separated. I think they have already filmed Therapy Island, and I think that they are gonna be on The Single Life separately. Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, because, I mean, what we're seeing right now with Rob and Sophie is we've already seen a reunion with them when her hair was a different color. Then we started the season, her hair was blonde, and now we're seeing on this reunion her hair's back to brown. And then you're like, did they film this like not back to back, but simultaneously, 2 shows at the same time? Because they were on
Yeah.
regular 90 Day, and then they are now on HEA, but her hair was blonde the whole time, but it was brown at the reunion, and now like
Yeah.
it's like, what is time? What is time with these
They're
2?
together, I think.
I think too, but unclear. Unclear. That was sad this past week when she was like really crying and like, Rob, I'm sorry, Rob.
Oh, I thought she was such a child. Like, I
Well,
was really
she has such childhood trauma like him.
I
She is,
know, but
it's
I'm
terrible.
trying to have a lot of empathy for her, but when she was like, wouldn't even talk to him and like ran away screaming, I was like, "Oh my god.
I know. It's
Sophie,
awful.
come on."
Her mom has really done a number on her. It's
Her mom is
terrible.
awful. Her
Awful.
mom is awful. Yeah.
Ah, you guys. Okay. Well, Kim told us at the top of the show what all they're covering, which is everything. And you guys go over and find 90 Day Fiance Cray Cray wherever you listen to podcasts. And they have a wonderful Patreon and Supercast as well. And you can find all sorts of, you guys are still doing D-sides with documentaries?
Oh yeah, we do that too. Yeah, we have like a documentary podcast too that we called D-sides. And we usually are covering like whatever is viral on Netflix,
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
everybody has access to it. It's easy. So we did The Man with 1,000 Kids this month, and I think we're gonna do a little bonus of the Simone Biles documentary.
I
Yeah,
heard that was really good.
it's really good.
Yeah. I
I
haven't
I
seen it.
find her really compelling. I did not know much about her, but I such a change from 90 Day.
Don't you love that sometimes? You're like, woo, I could take a Matt Sharp break.
Yeah, totally. But I'm loving Forbidden Love. That is trash of the trash, and I'm here for it.
Trash, yet fascinating. And I'm learning things on the Learning Channel. I'm learning things.
It's always weird when that happens.
It is weird when you learn new things. Everybody follow Kim and Kyle also on the Instagram. I think you guys are at 90 Day Fiance Cray Cray on Instagram.
We are, and we actually post a little bit now.
Look at you.
Yeah, look
Look
at
at
us.
you. And they also have like a Facebook group and all the things. So go find Kim and Kyle, and you guys will be here next week with another Plathville recap. And then after that, it is going over to Prime, I think, depending on what 90 Day UK does. It's too many shows. It's too many shows, but we're here to cover all of it. And I got to go and put a cough drop in my mouth. I've been talking so much today. Okay. See you, Kim. Bye.
Thanks, Mary Payne. Bye.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.